Boxing Day food now. Mark Smith from Smith and Ellis Butchers in Tamworth in Staffordshire joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. So this is the day where we're left with mountains of food. You've got the turkey, you've got all those vegetables. I said that as a family we would normally have cold meats, we'd have bubble and squeak. Is that kind of a staple, or are we doing it wrong?
No, it's probably the quickest and easiest thing to do. And why wouldn't you? You're not wasting anything, and that's the message we'd have to anybody. Don't waste anything.
And so what advice do you give to people? Because obviously we're very good, even in the cost of living crisis, at actually buying far too much food, cooking it. Your worst worry is that people don't have enough to eat. And of course, you're left with mountains of stuff on Boxing Day.
Yes, indeed. And there are a few things you can do. It's been a bit of a joke for many years that people will be eating turkey curry until Easter. But a lot of people are switched off with the whole idea of turkey curry because they don't cook curry in the right way. Everybody loves a curry, they'll go and buy takeaway. Learn how to cook curry like that and you won't buy takeaways again. You'll save money, but you'll use that turkey as well and the veg. And there are some fantastic groups that'll help you do that. I'm part of one called The Curry Secret in the UK. 28,000 people that have learned to cook really good stuff, and it's a great way to use all those festive products, the turkey, the gammon, and all the other different things. But that's not the only thing. Turkey curry is not just it.
So just what are people doing wrong when they cook the curry?
It's the way they cook it. In this country, we've become accustomed to something called British Indian restaurant style curries. You know, the thing that you buy from the takeaway. And how difficult is it to cook a curry that tastes just like one of those? It's the method. It's all about the method, and it's surprisingly simple. And that's why we suggest join a good group like The Curry Secret. Talk to people that do this day. They're not specialist chefs. They're just like you and I, and they've learned to cook fantastic curries, and it's a great way to use that turkey.
It really is. Just in terms of what people are doing, I mean, I haven't done a turkey curry, but I assume what many people are doing is sort of heating up the turkey using curry powder and then shoving a few other things in there. And that couldn't be even more removed from the traditional, as you say, the Anglo-Indian curry that we buy. It's a completely different dish.
Yes, it is. And that's why you need a little bit of help. Once you get it, then you won't look back. But what I would say is it's not the only thing, because if you don't like curry, well, turkey curry still ain't going to cut it, is it?
No.
But you can do other things that are really simple. Most people cook curry, a lot of people cook gammon, and therefore you've got all this gammon and turkey left. What do you do with it? What about a turkey and ham pie? And that is simplicity in itself. Flour, butter, bit of milk. And here's a trick. We don't do this in our pies in our butcher's shop, but it's a really neat trick if you want to make a curry really quick. Use something like Campbell's soup, the condensed stuff. I'm sure there are other soups that are similar, but something like a condensed soup with chopped curry and chopped turkey and chopped gammon, that forms a fantastic base in a tin, in the oven, and that really is different. You can't beat a pie, but then I'm a butcher.
Well, can I just ask you, though, in terms of, there's been a lot of talk about turkey, avian flu. Obviously, many people couldn't get turkey. We had people getting turkey crowns and frozen turkeys. We had a lot of talk about that before Christmas. Is turkey still the #1 dish for Christmas?
Oh, for sure, but by a very long way. We're seeing turkey numbers, in terms of our percentage of sales, they've fallen slightly over the last 3 to 5 years, and beef is becoming more popular. It was more popular this year, I think, mostly because of the scare of whether would you get a turkey or not. We didn't see a significant issue with turkey supply at our shops because we work with local farms. They've taken really good countermeasures to make sure their flocks were protected from avian flu, so it wasn't an issue. But we did see people start to buy more different joints, beef, pork and lamb predominantly. I'm sure some people have chosen other alternatives, but it is by a very long way the main dish for Christmas meals.
And so just how did we get to turkey? Is it historical, or is it because it actually feeds a lot of people? Is that the reason we ended up with it?
It feeds a lot of people. If you look at if you look at Western world festive dishes, and if you go other side of the Atlantic, It's the same in the US. Turkey's good because it's a very large single meal that you can cook in one go. It makes it easy, and of course it is versatile because once it's cooked, if you hadn't eaten it, the rest you can use as cold cuts. Don't know whether they make turkey curry in the US, but
I don't know. I mean, I lived in the States for quite a while. I don't remember seeing turkey curry, but
No.
that doesn't mean they don't have it.
no, of course not.
And so just in terms of other dishes, if you're looking for inspiration for the next few days, this is a funny time of year. I always think between Christmas and New Year, and obviously many people still have their families. Lots of people working from home, or at least people may decide to take the time off work. But obviously, what inspiration can you give them in terms of trying to feed the family for another 5 days?
Excuse me. You already mentioned Upland Squeak.
Yeah, I love Bubble and Squeak.
And a lot of people do, and I think it's that British love of anything fried.
Probably.
Well, we love the full English breakfast. It's all about frying everything.
Yeah.
Now, if you work on our love with fried food, then introduce some of that into your cooking. So if you've got turkey or gammon or pork or beef, and you've got some veg left over, because we all prepare these huge meals. Shred it into small bits. If you've got a wok or a large frying pan, use that. A stir fry can be cooked in about 4 or 5 minutes. You can make it as spicy or as bland as you like, depending on your taste. Chinese style or Indian style, or in fact anything you like, because as long as you fry it and you slice it thin, why not? It's different and it's healthy and it makes a difference. Because there's only so much turkey curry and turkey stuffing sandwiches you can eat in 5 days.
Well, that is very true indeed. I was also going to ask you, just in terms of keeping the bird as moist as possible. Obviously, we tend to wrap it in in kitchen foil and put it back in the fridge. Is that the right thing to do? How long can turkey last in the fridge? That's something I'm never sure about.
Yeah, a sensible guide, as long as you keep it refrigerated, is 5 days, and you're right, wrap it up. Technically, you could keep it longer, but domestic fridges are not the same as commercial fridges, and they're not always as cold as they could be. So really, it's safe. Keep it refrigerated. Once it's cooked and it's used, refrigerate it as quickly as you can. Keep it refrigerated until you're using it, and 5 days is really about as much as you can push. It's 6 at a push. I wouldn't risk any more because, as I said, domestic fridges are not typically quite so cold.
And you simply do not want to be ill after a wonderful festive season. How was your Christmas, by the way?
It was good, and we ate far too much turkey. The next 2 or 3 days, I'm sure. There might be a turkey curry involved, and there might even be a Chinese-style turkey stir-fry in there, because it's quick and it's easy.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then just what have you got planned in the next few days then as a family? I assume you have family with you?
We do. We're quite lucky because our eldest daughter is here from Australia with a fiance, so that's made it quite a special Christmas.
Lovely.
And the rest of our family, we've got 2 other kids with family, and they'll be here with the grandchildren later on. So there's a lot of food involved. It would be. We actually have 2 Christmas dinners as well. We have one on Christmas Day and one on Boxing Day. So we make a big dent in our turkey in those 2 days because there are a lot of people here eating it.
So that's really interesting. And right at the beginning of the show, I said actually in many countries, Boxing Day is called Christmas the second Christmas Day.
Yeah, we do the same here. It's just easy, and Dad gets to cook twice. I think I like that as well.
That's the highlight of the year. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Mark. It's a great pleasure to talk to you. That's Mark Smith. He's a butcher from Smith and Ellis Butchers in Tamworth in Staffordshire. After the break, we'll be talking about all the sporting fixtures that are coming up here on Boxing Day. I'll be talking to Tom Clayton, who is a TalkSport reporter. This is Talk TV, broadcasting live.